Back with the NJCS Creator Show.
I had a little Instagram account. We were going to share travel photos. We'd get like 50 to 100 likes on photos of us. We posted that meme and it got like over 1,000 likes in like a day. And
whoa, it's kind of a dopamine hit. Like,
I know it's a dopamine.
It really is.
Next to crack, I'm pretty sure it's the second most addictive.
And we can't do that in our line of work, so we have memes. He was sitting in the exit row. We were talking, and I was as painfully awkward as I could be because that's my game.
That's a long time to be painfully awkward.
I'm really good at it, John. I'm really good at it.
Love this about what you guys are doing. Taking it offline. What the It's so cool.
We always thought it would be a fun idea. Travel with a bunch of like-minded people.
We have tried to build a community more than just humor.
This is not just silly humor. This is flight attendants and pilots in a hotel room kind of feeling depressed, thinking, it's not just me going through this, you know? I see myself in this meme. The podcast is really bringing our faces out there more. You've got to be you first before people want to invest in that.
Other aspiring creators that want to venture, take the path you've taken, what would be your short words of wisdom to help them get to where you've gotten?
Do it.
This episode may contain explicit language not suitable for all audiences.
Back with the NJCS Creator Show, live from NJ Content Studio. I'm your host, Tima Baconton. Joined with me, as always, John Bertino.
That's me. And our guests, Rich and Andrew Henderson from the infamous Two Guys on a Plane podcast. Is infamous the right word? You guys are kind of troublemakers, so I think it works.
They're beyond famous. Yeah. Infamous.
Once they're famous, they're guaranteed to be infamous.
Right. No, exactly. Welcome to the studio, guys.
Thank you for having us. We're excited to be here.
Having us.
Yeah, really excited to have you guys. From the day we met you, we were like, okay, we need to have them on an episode. Yes. You guys are bundles of personality, and your explosive social media following validates that. You've done a tremendous job cultivating a great following. Your content's awesome. We'll talk all about it. But I guess before we get tactical or strategic or any of that stuff, we want to know a little bit more about the guys behind the plane. One plane, two guys.
Behind the plane, that sounds dangerous.
Right. Oh, boy.
If we're behind the plane, something's wrong.
That is true. I don't want you guys to know. Stay on the plane.
Right, we're on the plane.
Please.
They left me, and I'm not running screaming to get on it either.
Yeah.
So what is Two Guys on a Plane?
So Two Guys on a Plane, it's very literal. When we started, we had a little Instagram account. We were going to share travel photos for friends and family, and we were like two guys on a plane, two gays on a plane. Like, I don't know where we're going to go with this. And it was very literal. Two guys on a plane. We met on a plane. We got married at a hangar. We both work on planes. I mean, everything about our lives has been aviation related in some way, shape, or form. So it felt very fitting. But yeah, it started as like a little travel Instagram account. And then one day we just started posting memes, and things kind of shifted from there. And COVID things really blew up, probably because we were, not flying as much, and we really had too much time in our hands, and things just kept pivoting from there, and blew up to what we are today, which is basically just a big social media, content creator. We've got memes, we've got, the podcast now that we're doing, we've got merch, we've got all sorts of things going on. So it's just a cool place for people to hear about life as flight attendants, from our perspective. And, it's for flight attendants by flight attendants, but it's also, we're gaining a bigger audience now with other people outside of aviation too, which has been really cool.
It started as a fun Instagram account, is what I believe I heard you say. Mm-hmm. And that was something you were maintaining, Rich?
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we both were kind of posting on it in the beginning, but I feel like we definitely, both post.
Cool.
Do you?
No, we don't both post, and we started out both posting, but I mean, as with anything, we have different voices and we have different ways of creating things. And if you're building a brand, in the beginning, we had different ideas of what this was supposed to be. So it is Rich posting. We both create, but ultimately, whatever I create, he'll edit down so that it's one brand, right?
Freak.
Oh, sure. Okay.
How did you learn to edit, Rich?
I mean, I've always kind of been into that sort of stuff. Like, I took film classes in college. I did graphic design work in high school. Like, I've always had an eye for that sort of stuff. I've always found that kind of therapeutic. Like, it's really relaxing sometimes to just edit stuff and get really, nitpicky about little details, and I'm very detail oriented. So that kind of stuff has always just kind of been fun to me. So it was cool to find a way to use that, rather than having a career out of it. Using it for fun was a cool outlet.
We talk about it on our podcast, but one of the things, Rich saw a meme and was annoyed that someone misspelled something and was like, you can't do this, and took it and was like, had to recreate the joke that it was grammatically correct.
There was a typo.
That is?
It was a whole
It wasn't even me. I didn't do it. It was someone else's page, and Rich was like, "This isn't funny because I can't get past this grammatical mistake."
Can't get past it. Just
And the things were like a little off centered, and I was like, I gotta redo this. So that's kind of how it started. Yeah, it was a joke initially, but then
did you hijack the joke and then?
I sure did.
I mean, I don't know if say hijack.
You can.
we
That is a
tend
bad
to
word,
use it
John.
in our
But we don't like that word, right?
I definitely stole that joke. I try not to steal jokes. We're mostly original with our content, I would say.
How did it perform? Do you remember?
But that's what led us to start doing memes and stuff. Is it performed extremely well. I mean, we'd post pictures. We thought we were going to be like that cute Instagram couple, but we don't have like the abs for it.
Turns out,
So we'd get like 50 to 100 likes on photos of us, and people would be like, "Cool, great." And then we posted that meme, and it got like over 1,000 likes in like a day, and we were like, "Whoa, this is fun. Should we start doing this more often?" Because it was kind of therapeutic. You have a long trip or you have a crazy experience on a trip, and you're like, "I'm gonna make a meme out of this." It became like our way to like debrief after work. Be like, "Okay, well, this day was shitty. Let me turn it into something funny, and make a joke about it." And the other people relating to that sort of stuff was really where it blew up. Where you're like, hey, this is not just a meme. This is not just silly humor. This is flight attendants and pilots and other people in a hotel room alone on a layover, kind of feeling depressed, thinking it's not just me going through this. I see myself in this meme. It's a joke, yes, but also people were feeling connected to us and to each other, even when we're miles away from family and friends. So it really turned into something deeper, which I think is the coolest part about the whole thing. It's gone from just silly memes to like this community of people being like, you get it,
And travel is quite the daunting, cumbersome, frustrating process.
Absolutely.
So in a way, you guys are a bit of an outlet.
Bring a little brevity to something that's anxiously filled.
Exactly.
And so as you were sitting there and you're starting to see that, hey, people are starting to engage with this, I bet that just starts. What happens to the brain there? What happened to your brain?
It's just really satisfying because, you go through life. Everyone does this. You go through life and you kind of think, am I the only one having this experience? And I think we all get something out of feeling like people get us or understand us or relate to us. And I think that speaks volumes. So when you start being able to be that vessel for people, even if it's through something as silly as a meme, you're like, well, this is really cool. Like when we've had people reach out to us and be like, I was going to quit and I saw your meme and I was like, nope, you're just having a bad day and you need to get through this like hurdle and figure something else out and find other ways to find joy in the job or whatever. And like just knowing you're part of people's decision-making process at that level is really validating because it's like, okay, cool. We're doing something for people.
It makes you kind of like you kind of reach like a passion state or a purpose state there, right?
Sure.
And in the beginning, you're watching your numbers click up. You're watching followers and likes, and it kind of a dopamine hit that like.
I know.
Yes, it is.
It really is.
It is, but like it's a dopamine hit.
Crack.
And you're
Like, pretty sure it's the second most addictive.
And we can't do that in our line of work. We have memes.
But you watch those likes go from like 10 to 100. You watch your followers go from 100 to 1,000, and you're like, wait, this is cool. This is good. And you're like,
It's working.
yeah, it's working.
All right, so let's take a step back because we haven't really talked about you guys. So you guys are a married couple.
We are.
How long have you known each other?
10, 11 years now.
I love when Andrew answers this question first because I'm always like, what number is
How
going to
long
come
will
up
it be
with today?
It'll be 11 years in July.
You guys met on an airplane?
We did,
Like,
yeah.
tell us that. Serendipitous AF, right?
For sure. This story for some reason evolves. I feel like over time.
Well, this becomes the official documented
the
version.
documented version.
It is on the record.
Well, I was working a flight to Nashville where Andrew was living at the time. And you were right, 11 years ago is when this happened. And I was pretty new to flying. I'd only been flying for probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 months. And I was flying with this friend of mine, and he was like a very sassy gay guy. And he had this little game that he would play when like a cute passenger would come on. He would clap. And he would be like, "Welcome aboard," and he would just do this little clap to signal to me that
They're
he
always clapping
thought,
when I get on.
yeah. Is that what happens? Yeah. So he would play this little game to kind of signal to me like, "Oh, I think this guy's attractive," or whatever. And Andrew came on and he clapped, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, all right, sure." And he's like, "You should go talk to him." And I was like, "No, I'm not that guy. I'm not gonna go talk to some random passenger. I'm good." And he's like, just do it, you know, live a little. And I was like, okay, fine.
Wow.
He was sitting in the exit row, so I had to brief the exit row passengers anyway. So it kind of was like my intro. And we were talking, and I was as painfully awkward as I could be because that's my game. And we get up in the air, and we stop the beverage cart. Me and the other flight attendant are on it. And she sees me trying to talk to him. And the ultimate wingman right here, she nailed it. She was like, Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay, yeah. And so I was like, I'm ready to move the cart. And she's like, pour me a Coke. And I was like, okay, pouring her a Coke. She did the rest of the airplane while the cart was stopped in front of Andrew's row.
I was sitting in row 10. Every time he clicked the brake to like push it, she would
click
push
back.
back and click the brake and be like, just pour me a Sprite. It's
Yeah.
fine. So she made him stand there and talk to me for like 35 minutes or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's a long time to be painfully awkward.
A long time got the beverage font right next to you too.
Really good at it, John. I'm really good at it. But yeah, so she pretty much served the rest of the cabin, and we were talking, and I walked through, picked up trash, would kind of make small talk, and
He had mentioned that he'd never been to Nashville
Yeah.
before, or in Tennessee. So I wrote down my phone number on a boarding pass and handed it to him. And I'm like, if you're ever in the city, you know, give me a call. I'll take you out or whatever. And he forgot to tell me that he was overnighting that night.
Sure did.
So he was going to be in the city after we had this long conversation and forgot to tell me that he was staying the night that night.
my game is not existent.
Right.
I do not know how to do this.
But we went out after that. He finally texted and was like, oh, by the way, I'm staying in Nashville tonight. We went and had dinner, drinks, and, you know, the rest is history. They
Yada,
say.
yada, yada. 10
Yeah.
years later.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. So the first year of us together, we were he was flying. I didn't know he was a flight attendant at first.
Oh, you were a flight attendant as well?
He was flying for a different
I've been flying
airline.
for like 10 years at this point.
Yeah. And so we ended up meeting up on each other's layovers and things for like a year. He'd be like, I'm in Phoenix for 12 hours. And I was new, so the idea of hopping on a plane to do that was fun. Now I'd be like, I'm not getting on a plane for you. But like back in the beginning, you're like, flying is fun. This is a good time. So we just keep bouncing around the country, kind of flying.
Okay, so can I just say, and I don't know if I've ever said this in a gay context before, but that was super romantic.
It
Right,
was,
so
it
like-
was actually.
It takes the idea of like missed connections or like connections.
It's like the ultimate rom-com cheesiness. I mean,
Totally.
he wrote his name and his phone number on a boarding pass and like was like, call me if you're ever in town.
You still have it?
Yeah, of
He
course I
does.
do.
He
Yeah.
recreated it to propose. He
Yeah. Oh,
made me go on an overnight with him, and then after he deplaned, he had the first class flight attendant keep me on the airplane, and he came up and proposed with a similar boarding pass to what I had written my phone number on.
on the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awkward at all.
If you
I don't know,
want-
being awkward.
You know.
just sealing
If
the
you want
deal.
cheese, we have it. We got married under the Miracle on the Hudson plane. My family was like, "Why are we doing this under a plane that crashed?" And we were like,
But it was a
if
miracle.
even a little bit of that
Yeah.
magic rubs off on all of this, we're golden forever."
I don't know anything about Miracle of Hudson.
So there was a U.S. Airways
Hanks.
flight.
Yeah.
The Sully movie.
saw it.
U.S. Airways flight.
1542.
Yeah, back in they were taken off from LaGuardia.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Taken off.
And they ended up landing in the Hudson because of a bird strike. They had double engine
This happened,
failure.
what, 2015?
Yeah.
Something like
Longer
that.
than that. 2011 maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, it was
yeah.
the one that crashed in the Hudson. The birds flew into the engine, shut down both
Literally
the
emergency
engines.
landing.
He
Never heard
couldn't
about it.
make it to any of the airports, and he landed on the Hudson River.
Wow.
It
But
was
the whole plane is intact.
Correct.
Everyone
It's in
survived?
Charlotte.
everyone survived.
Everyone survived. Couple injuries, but everybody lived to tell the
It was
tale.
wild.
Yeah.
Everybody thought it was fascinating, but that's the type of airplane that we met on. So we
Same
But
aircraft
just
type
goes
and
to show,
everything.
it's not about the crashing and burning. It's the
Right.
resiliency of the relationship.
There you
Which
go.
we thought
That was the magic that we wanted
to have a
for-
marriage.
I see it.
Thank you.
I see
You
it.
did there, Steven.
I see it.
Vow renewal ceremony. You're invited. Yeah, you get it.
I'll get ordained. I'll do I'll do the thing.
So a little more context, just so I'm curious. Rich, where are you from originally?
I'm from Boston.
A Boston guy and a Nashville guy.
Very
You don't
different
play.
place.
I'm from right outside of Nashville. I'm from Kentucky originally,
Yeah.
but yes, I was living in Nashville at the time.
Got it. And then when did you guys get married?
2017.
Okay.
You remember?
And then the Instagram thing probably started 2019-ish and ballooned in 2020. Is that what I'm hearing?
We
2018.
started it in 2018, like shortly after we got married.
Okay.
Yeah,
And for
2018 it
probably
really ballooned in the
6
2020.
months, it was like travel photos,
Yeah.
and then the meme thing happened, and then COVID things really blew up there.
When COVID happened and you guys were grounded, basically,
Yeah.
were you not flying at all, or are you flying less?
I was flying less.
Initially, we were both flying a lot because a lot of flight attendants didn't want to fly, and so we were both like, I gotta work. So we both picked up a lot more flying in the beginning, and then stuff started canceling like crazy. And then I got furloughed, so I wasn't working for 6 months. And then your flights were reduced, right?
Yeah.
So with
But I
that
never
furlough, like a kind of a blessing in disguise.
Honestly, yeah, because at that point I was I was like 7 years in, and I was just kind of feeling jaded with flying, and I was like, do I want to do this forever? I don't know. So I went and got another job during furlough, and we had like furlough pay, so we were still kind of doing okay. But a lot of flight attendants weren't doing much during that time, and I was like, I'm gonna get another job and see. This is like my chance to see if I want to fly forever or if I want to do something else. And I got another job and was like, nope, this is not. For
I
me.
have to ask.
9 to 5. You want me to be there at 9 and leave at 5? Like what?
You're like, what is
emails? I'm not answering your emails. Funny enough, it was digital marketing. So yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, that's
Oh, that's
kind of
interesting. How long were you there for?
Something I'm generally good at. I was there for 9 months. So when I got called back to flying, I tried to do both, and I did it for like 3 months. And
Yeah.
it's like, I can't. I don't want to do this.
What an interesting segue to the rest of this conversation.
Yeah, I know, right? That's why I was like, it's funny you ask.
Okay, so whenever I see a creator that earns their living off of content that makes you laugh, most of your content is humor oriented.
Yeah.
Right? I put myself in that position, and I think, man, that must be really difficult. Or for me, it would be really difficult to constantly have to be funny. So do you write down your material in a notebook like a comedian, or what's your way to avoid like writer's block and continue to ideate with stuff that's funny?
That's a great
I
question.
think it's great that he thinks your sarcasm is humor.
Yeah, right. I'm just my personality, and apparently people think it's funny. No, but I a notes
Interesting
app.
point.
Really, just the
notes
notes app in my phone. Anytime I see or think of something, same with you.
Yeah.
Although I usually text me and then I add to the notes app that way. But yeah, I just will kind of keep a running list of things as I see are funny or whatever.
So I think it's interesting that, John, you equated it to being a comedian.
Yeah.
Right, because
I like
comedians
that.
go into it thinking about jokes, and there's an arc
Yeah,
and
for
an
sure.
art to writing jokes and punchline, timing and everything.
Right.
Whereas a creator, are you just looking at trends, looking at what's going on, putting your own spin on it, and then your audience is going to attach to it because they're also in the same boat?
I'm going to give away Rich's secret. I'm actually his audience. He'll create something and he'll text it to me. And then, like, if he hears me genuinely laughing, he's like, okay, this is funny. Or if, like, I'm in the other room and I, like, open my text messages and I'm like, And I'll be like, that was funny. And he was like, no, it wasn't. That's not hilarious at all. But that's kind of our barometer for whether we're being funny or not, is we'll, like, send each other a joke. And if he laughs, then like we'll keep going with the joke. Or if I like let out a good hearty belly laugh in the other room, he was like, "Oh, that was funny. Okay, let's."
Wow, you
Let's
guys are
create.
meant to be. The last thing I'm doing is using my wife as a barometer for humor.
Heard it here first.
Sorry.
But like, are you only trying to be funny, or are you trying to amass a community and just have?
We're doing that.
It's definitely a little bit of both. I think we try to find the funny in the things that aren't as
Brevity
funny
to the-
sometimes.
yeah.
Because I don't know, makes people just feel a lot less stressed out about things that are stressful.
Sure.
And Yeah, but I think we're trying to kind of find balance. Like when there's certain things that happen in aviation, like unfortunate crashes and things like that occur, we want to lean on that community in a more helpful, healing, supportive way rather than like now's not the time to make a joke. Like there'd be certain things
You don't
like
want to be toned down.
a lot of exactly, and a lot of content creators like have very strict calendars and things, and we, like our industry, kind of go with the flow and see what's the vibe of the day. If
Fly by the
there's
seat of your
some
pants.
viral story of some sort, we're gonna go with whatever that conversation is. And if there's some incident that happened where people got hurt, we're not gonna post a joke that day. We're gonna post about like it's okay to be not okay today. Like feel your feels, reach out for support, and there's different like mental health organizations that help flight attendants and things.
I appreciate you saying that, because I think a lot of creators think that it's their time to make a joke or just be obnoxious about it.
Well, and we struggle with this too because you post serious things during serious times, and there's this part of you that's like, do I want to post right now? Because it feels like I'm doing this for clout, right? And it's like, I don't want people to think we're only doing this because we'll get likes for it or something like that. But then if you don't post, you've got the opposite, and people going, we needed you in this moment, and you said nothing. Why were you quiet?
A lot of responsibility.
Yeah. And so it's kind of finding that balance, and the bigger our audience gets, the more we struggle with that, because it's like we want to speak out on certain issues and we want to be part of these conversations, but then sometimes you get some, get crap for it because it's like you shouldn't have been in this conversation or whatever the case may be. So,
but we saw a long time ago too that you have to bring your audience in. Like we launched a series, not jokes, but we launched a series called Flight Attendant Friday because we saw, like we told our stories about how we got into aviation, and we saw people really connected with that. So every Friday we have people submit their stories on how they got into aviation, and we post their stories, and like it's not just humor, because these those are really popular.
Right.
Those are really popular posts for us because either somebody shares a story like that and are like, oh yeah, that was me too, or oh, I didn't know after 5 kids I could become a flight attendant still, and like makes people want to join the job. So we have tried to build a community more than just humor with what we do.
I think it's really important, though.
Yeah.
And I think it's smart of you both to recognize that and to show, I think, your empathy towards not only your audience, but just a human being.
Yeah, because they see themselves in our jokes, but then they literally see themselves in our content too, because they're posting pictures in their uniforms or out doing the job, and they literally see themselves on our page every day.
And all of this is taking place on Instagram, or is it taking place on other channels too?
We're everywhere. I mean, mostly Instagram is our biggest following right now. We are basically American Express, but no, we're everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, X, whatever, Blue Sky, all the things.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're on everything.
And you're managing all of that. That's insanity.
Sure am.
Wow.
I would like to take more credit for it, but it's a one-man show.
I do a lot of it. Yeah.
How have you found the difference in performance on TikTok to Instagram to be? I mean, I know a lot of folks will just repurpose the same content.
Yep.
In many ways, we're no different. But talk TikTok a little bit and what's worked, hasn't worked, or what you found juxtaposed to Instagram.
See, this is such an interesting conversation. It kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier about do we follow trends and things like that. And I don't like doing the trend bandwagon. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. TikTok seems to work really well with the trendy stuff like that. Like once someone's doing something and everyone starts doing it, like those perform well. But I've never been that person. Neither one of us really have. I mean, we just kind of march to the beat of our own drum. To some degree, we lean into trends here and there, but we don't really like to do that sort of stuff. We don't like to feel too copycat. But TikTok, I mean, I don't think I'm any sort of expert on TikTok because it's just a whole different animal than Instagram is. It's always changing. I also feel like some days I'm a little too old for it. Like Gen Z is really nailing it out there, and I'm like, what's a TikTok? So we definitely, exactly. We definitely just repurpose our Instagram content, and we'll put stuff on
So
platforms.
Instagram, your hero channel.
Yeah, for sure.
And how big is the following right now?
131,000 followers. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well done.
Yeah.
Now TikTok and your other channels, where are they from a numbers perspective?
Facebook is pretty big. Facebook's close to 100,000.
Okay, wow. Private group or public?
Public page. Yeah.
Did you do a private group too?
We just started one with the podcast.
Oh, great.
But that hasn't really gone anywhere yet. Still working that out. But TikTok's probably 13,000.
Okay.
So all the other platforms are generally between like 10 and 15,000. Much smaller audience.
To what do you attribute your success on Facebook?
It's a great question. I don't know. I think just being able to start conversations, like Facebook's very conversational. You know, you make a comment and you talk to people and include them in dialogue, and I think that works really well. Because I do find a lot of creators that are huge on Instagram, you'll look at their Facebook and it's like 300 people versus their 150,000.
Right.
You're like, what happened here? And I think it's just the lack of engagement on Facebook. Like if you're really in it with your followers and you're commenting back and you're making them feel valued and their opinions matter, I think that sort of engagement picks up with the algorithm and kind of pushes things further. So
He doesn't give himself enough credit. He literally will spend hours on Facebook inviting people to like our page. Like it's all done manually. Not anymore, but at the beginning, which is what got us to this point. He would like hours, like just go through and like to the point they thought he was a bot and would restrict his movement, like liking and inviting and interacting with. And I mean, he did a lot of work.
That's kind of the new way of guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
Right? Inviting people to the page and like you gotta hit the bricks.
Yep.
And by inviting, you mean the formal feature where it's like click to invite versus any type of...
Anyone that interacts with your post, you could pull up who all of those people were. And if you had people that weren't like hadn't liked or followed your page, you could invite them to do that. So he would pull up every post that we had and he would see how many new people had interacted with it, and he would invite all of those people to our page.
So not to belabor the point, but so when you guys reflect back on some of the key things that really helped you get to your current level of following and popularity, would you attribute that specific task as one of the key things?
I would, yes, because after he would do that, we would see a spurt in our growth.
Yeah, definitely commenting, because that's what creates community.
Right.
A lot of content creators post stuff and disappear. And for me as a user, I don't want to engage with this person if I don't think there's ever a chance that like maybe they're going to see or value my comment. You know, it's like, well, then what was the point of that? But if you've got a content creator who's got millions of followers who thinks your comment's funny and responds, you get that dopamine hit and you're like, well, that's cool. Like now I'm connected to this person I don't know. And that's how I view every comment is it's like, if I try to go through comments as much as I can, and I'm like, if there's something that stands out or is funny or whatever, or someone put time into their comment, I think it's worth giving them a thoughtful response. Even the trolls. I mean, I love commenting with a troll. Let's talk. Let's fight. But I think that sort of stuff is really what it comes back to, is that community aspect and making people feel.
Sounds like a very, very marketing forward response. Right? The marketer.
And I don't have much of a marketing experience. So it's funny that I have this brain because I'm like, yes.
But like you want to, like we always recommend, like we would get the question a lot, like what happened to someone who does a negative review on our Google account or Google review? Respond. Talk to them. Like there's someone that sit there. That's ridiculous.
Well, because if you get one of those reviews or whatever and a business responds and owns it and says, okay, you know what? Maybe we didn't get it right this time. We'd love to have you back in for whatever. That makes you as a customer think, well, at least they're listening. It's like people just want to be heard, you know?
Right. One of my favorite sayings, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Act accordingly.
I like that.
Not too many people follow it, myself included.
Oh, we work on airplanes. We see that all the time. People love talking and nobody loves listening.
Quick tactical question. How much do you schedule content out in advance? Like how much are you sitting on that's scheduled, or is it more like you ideate it, you post it, on to the next one?
Yeah, I post in real time. I schedule very rarely. Sometimes the Flight Attendant Friday posts will be scheduled because we've got that content in advance.
Right.
But even with brand stuff, like we're very last minute with stuff.
Do you have a calendar or like a checklist?
I keep buying them and not using them. It always sounds like a great idea in my head and I never use them.
We've just gotten to a point where we're kind of like, I would just text him jokes and wait for it to come out. But now I've gotten a little bit more. So the ideating is the stuff that I've created, waiting for him to like decide that it's time to push it. But he's not. He's real time.
Are you the bottleneck?
What'd you say?
Are you the bottleneck sometimes?
Yeah, right. Maybe. Yeah. Am I the problem? Am I the drama? Yeah, I think this is part of why we're successful, though. And not to say like everyone who's trying to build an audience should live the way I do and kind of obsess over stuff and do things last minute. Like, it's not necessarily the key, but I think we have a good, idea of where our audience is, when is a good time to post, and like kind of going with the flow and that sort of thing, and pivoting really, when things happen. It's like, okay, this isn't in anymore.
Yeah.
Change your content, mix it up, do different things, and see what works. And I think that's generally our view about content creation. And I think that's what works. We're not just like, okay, here's the top 10 trends. Here's the videos that we've made with these top 10 trends, schedule.
Right.
It's like, I'm kind of feeling this vibe today. Let's go with that. And
I'm sure your audience, and probably why you're seeing so much of the growth, they recognize that authenticity.
I think it goes a long way. And we're getting better with, like Andrew said, creating stuff ahead of time and having things ready in case we don't have an idea in the moment, which is a good thing, because if you have been following us for a while, a lot of people would laugh because they'd be like, oh, Rich and Andrew must not have been flying this week because they didn't post anything. Because we get all of our inspiration at work. We've got passengers, coworkers, pilots. We've got people to talk about at work. When we're not flying, we're like, I got nothing to say. So yeah, people would laugh. They'd be like, you've been quiet this week. You guys off?
Right.
Yep.
We joke all the time that we are the worst content creators because we forget that we should be creating content. Yeah. And we just go out and live our lives. Like, we're on vacation. This is the prime time to start creating content. And we get home and we're like, I have like a picture on my phone.
Right. Yeah, like those people, like, I live in the moment. People will be like, oh, we're at this concert, we're doing this thing. And we'll post that like 3 weeks later because we'll be like, but I was in the moment, I forgot to post about it. I was living my life.
No, I feel like that one. Go ahead, John. You go.
I was going to say, you guys are in a somewhat unique situation in that your day to day, you're interfacing with all of these different personalities in all of these different cities. Yeah. If I took an extra week to promote content, I don't think a damn thing would change over, from one Monday to the next. I'm working from the same office and talking to a few new people, but I guess I just wanted to point that out.
Anyway, record scratch. One of the things that I find really interesting, as I was checking out your guys' page, we were having a conversation prior, and I fucking love this about what you guys are doing. Is you're taking it offline. You are, I'm talking about the community you are creating, and the fact that there's trips and there are activities and excursions and expeditions.
Yes.
And what the fuck? That's so cool. Tell me about that.
That honestly has been the most cool experience so far, because we always thought it would be a fun idea, travel with a bunch of like-minded people, go places you've never been before, experience things together. But like, we never thought we'd be able to do it in this context of like, people follow us and want to travel with us and think it would be a good time. It's like, we've only done one trip so far, and it's still something that's just, I think, mind-blowing to us.
It is, but it wasn't just trips, because during COVID, we were like hosting happy hours and things like that. Like, that's really where it started. We were out at a restaurant, and she was like, oh my God, the owner of this restaurant was like, we love flight attendants. Come host a happy hour here. And it started as a happy hour. And we do those from time to time with restaurants throughout the city. So it's just a way to connect people. But it did start during COVID because so many flight attendants were on the ground. And I think they missed that camaraderie because I'll go back to your point. You sit in the office with the same 5 people, but we are with we don't fly with the same, crew. So like my week, I have interacted with not just not passengers, but I've interacted with 100 coworkers too.
Right. Whereas sometimes John and I are just sitting in here, with no windows, being like, bro, we gotta go outside.
Right. There's a valid point in there.
No, there is a valid point because
we're in a dunce now.
That's what started our like happy hours and things, is because we all got grounded and we were like, wait, we missed that. Like, we're not alone people. Like, I mean, as extroverted as all of us are, we have our introverted moments, but we do really need that like community or that validation from other people around us. And so that's kind of what started the trips, was those happy hours that we were hosting, and has excelled into these trips, which have been amazing.
For those that don't know, and frankly, I've only seen like the artwork, not entirely sure what's going on. What exactly are you doing with that first trip, and I imagine future trips?
Yeah, so we're partnering with this company called TrovaTrip, and they basically work.
What's it called?
TrovaTrip?
Trova,
Trova.
Trova.
Okay. And I don't know
I
them.
love that in unison there. That's great. They work with content creators and basically help you plan itineraries for you and your specific group of people.
Oh,
So they put together itineraries, and you can kind of choose, okay, we're more into fitness on this one, or we're more into art and culture, and you kind of pick what itinerary works best for what you think your audience would like. Yeah.
Yeah, and like we went to Bali for our first one. So like they have Indonesian or Balinesian things planned for you, but it's only about half the day, and then they let the creators like decide what the rest of the day is. So they have like yoga people who are like, okay, so for this part of the day we're going to go to a coffee shop and then kind of explore how coffee's made in Bali. And then for the rest of the day, like, some of the creators are doing like their yoga thing. So they'll have like a yoga experience attached to that day. We, on the other hand, we're like, we'll meet you by the
pool and drinking.
Right.
We just wanted a layover. So we didn't fill any of the extra time. We're taking their itineraries. We'll do their things. And then we know how our friends are when they travel. Sure. So they wanted to go out and shop or drink or lay by a pool, and we didn't want to fill up any of that extra time. So
it works out really well. Yeah. Because when you're on a group trip, do you really want your entire day planned minute by minute by minute? It's like, you go on this very cool excursion that you probably wouldn't have get done on a solo trip. Like we went into a farming village and got to see how Balinese people live and how they make rice and things like that. And then the afternoon is off so people can shop, drink, eat, do whatever they want to do on their own in smaller groups or by themselves if they're kind of feeling overloaded by group stuff. So
cool.
It's been such a cool experience.
So your first one was in Bali.
First one was Bali.
How many people did you have?
18?
Stop it.
16 or 18 people.
Incredible. I didn't know 16 people.
And then we've got Croatia coming up. Egypt.
I want to go to Croatia so bad.
Yeah, we're excited.
You're going to Spit?
Yep.
Yeah.
Spit. Dubrovnik.
The town there, Spit?
Yeah.
Croatia?
Yeah. Love you.
What? Your face said it all, bro.
I know.
Producer Jim, you missed out on the optimal.
We're going to actually take John's face from that response and make a whole meme series out of it. That's going to be great. Yeah.
God damn it.
That's actually our other Instagram account. No.
Oh, my Lord.
I'll see myself out. But yeah, Spit, Dubrovnik, and then... and that's the end of the episode. No.
I mean, you gotta go out with a bang.
Right?
See what you did there.
Have to go in there.
For the bonus content, go to Patreon.
Yeah, right. How many shades of red?
Wait, what's the other city? No, I really can't think of it.
Rosacea, so I'm sure I'm ready.
All right, so you're going Croatia, and then
We're doing Croatia. We have Egypt,
and then
Thailand.
Thailand.
Yeah.
Those are all kind of on my bucket list.
And we're looking for Peru next year.
Peru
We've got
is
Peru
hopefully on the list.
That's my. Wow.
Yeah,
This
is where we're planning. The trips are totally planned out. We've got like a laundry list, and we're trying to figure out how to space them out.
And what's the
correctly.
frequency?
We're trying to get like
We're trying to do
every 3 months.
3 a year.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
Wow.
We don't want to be too ambitious,
So wait, are white cisgender males allowed to go?
For sure. Anytime you want.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, join us.
Are you sure?
We don't want to be a cog in the wheel.
Oh, you won't.
We
do.
What do we say that like
We have one of those. One of those. Just one. Token.
One of those.
Token.
He knows.
He knows.
He knows what he
It's
signed
sad.
up for. Yeah.
It's sad, you know?
You should.
I
Get him on
totally
the
want to
crown.
go.
Everyone's invited all the time. There's no.
Yeah,
there's
we're
no
not turning anybody away. You don't have to be a flight attendant. You don't have to be a certain type of person.
But now you're actually creating what I think is really fascinating, because I love Rick Steves, and I'm addicted to him, and I bought travel books. So we still watch him to this day. My son watches.
He knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff, and I've actually done some of his travel things in Europe before. And obviously, he's getting older. His son, Andrew Steves, I think it is now starting to pick up the helm. And I love the idea of those who are just creating these itineraries for other like-minded people, like you said, to just have an experience.
Yeah.
And it's such a, I don't know, it warms my travel digital nomad heart, I have to be honest.
I love that. Travel digital nomad heart. I love that.
Yeah.
We did a whole episode of it though, because I was terrified of it. I didn't want to go. I did not want to. I'm not a group traveler.
Really?
No. I've had flight benefits for my whole life, so like nothing is off limits for me. It never has been. And these trips, I was like, I don't know about this.
We were both kind of that way, and then the part of it where it's like your community of people, it's like you think specifically, okay, who's following Two Guys on a Plane? Like if you're going with some random tour operator, you really don't know what you're getting. If you're going on a trip with us, like, you know who we are as people, you know, the people that follow us have a certain sense of humor, have, you know, a certain sort of viewpoint about the world and things like that. And
it's your tribe.
Yeah, it really is. And when we got together with this group, we were like, there's like no one here that we don't like, which I know it sounds like funny, but you really think about it, you're always kind of like, is there going to be a weird vibe? Everyone was nice. Everyone took care of each other. Everyone had a sense of humor. We were just laughing and having a good time the entire
Did you document it?
Yeah.
And you put out like content while you were there?
For sure. Yeah. We did some videos. We did lots of pictures and stories and things like that.
We were good creators that day. We did remember that we were.
Did your job? You did you weren't, it wasn't all playing.
It was no, but I would forget though. I'd be like, oh, and then we wouldn't have Wi-Fi somewhere. And we're bad at
Well,
that.
traveling, that's always a challenge.
We were like a day behind with our content, but we got it out there.
So what else are you guys doing in way of monetization and or engagement beyond the posts and the travel? Any other tactics and strategies?
Well, we're doing some brand deal stuff through social media. So that's worked out pretty well.
Let's explore that a bit.
Yeah. What does that mean?
So just basically any brand that we've reached out to a lot of brands that we like and use. We've kind of always wanted to continue that authenticity thing that we're known for. You know, like we had some car insurance company reach out to us once, and we were like, we don't even own a car right now. I'm not going to sell this well. And you're like, and then here's my car. And like some alarms going off because we're pretending to get into some car. Yeah, exactly.
Breaking into in Philly.
So like, certain luggage companies that we really like.
They reach out to you?
A little bit of both now. We've had some people reach out to us and then we've done a lot of outreach. It's hard doing brand deals with our brand because I think people struggle to see who we are right off the bat, because like a lot of our stuff is not our faces. Right. A lot of our stuff is memes, and a lot of brands don't necessarily want to partner with like just a meme account. So trying to explain to them like, no, we're a whole community. It's a whole thing.
That might change now, like the podcast.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of what we're hoping for too. The podcast is really bringing our faces out there more, bringing our personalities to people more so that people get to know us a little bit.
And is the podcast called Two Guys on a Plane?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Awesome.
We thought about switching it, but we were like, people already know this name.
Yeah.
No,
It doesn't make sense
You don't want to confuse the brand.
Yeah, we did go back and forth on that because, SEO is so important. Search engine optimization is so important. Two Guys on a Plane is not necessarily like searchable for a flight attendant podcast or something like that, but we're working on, getting our episode titles and stuff like that to kind of get out to.
I know a great SEO. He's sitting on the other side of me.
Yeah.
I don't know how great.
Oh, yeah, you know all about it? Yeah.
I know a thing or two about it.
Yeah. Well, my digital marketing job that I had during COVID, I learned a lot about it. Because I definitely faked it in the beginning. I was like, I know about that. Let's do it. And then got into the job. Yeah. And luckily I'm friends with my boss from that job. So if she's listening or watches this, she'll be like, that makes sense. But I mean, I learned so much on the job about it and had no idea it was even really a thing.
So you're bringing that knowledge with you now as a creator.
It's super helpful because that's stuff people don't know. If you're just starting some website or account or whatever, people don't know that sort of stuff. So.
I want to just make sure we fully exhausted monetization, because I think that's an area that, and we've had quite a few creators in here, both as clients and on the show, that are still struggling to figure out how to monetize it aside from just a massive following. Even when you have a massive following, the checks are underwhelming compared to the brand deals or whatever else you can pull off. So,
well, to be honest, we are too. I mean, people assume we have 131,000 followers and are making bank. And I'm like, we're not. Like, our business expenses are kind of covering themselves now, which is good. We're not in the red there, but we're not like making a ton of money to the point where we can fly less or anything like that. So I think people look at our account and they're like, they're making a fortune. And it's like, we're really not.
Yeah.
So it is harder, I think, than people realize to get that sort of stuff off the ground. And like I said earlier, with our account being more of a meme account and things like that, it's harder to convince some of these brands that like, you should work with us and we're worth more than what you think we are and things like that.
With that thought, have you ever thought about trying to put more emphasis into a different channel that pays more?
Well, I was going to just say that we've had so many brands, like if you are trying to monetize your page or whatever, like you have to have a broad reach, because there are people that like only want you to monetize your YouTube page because that's what they think is the popular thing right now. So if you're gonna do it, like, get on every platform and build those. But like, there are people that only want to monetize like TikToks at the moment because that's the popular channel, or YouTube, that's the popular channel. And if you don't have that, like, we've missed out on brands because we don't have a giant YouTube following. We don't have a big YouTube presence at the moment, and so we've lost deals because they only want YouTube
or TikTok or whatever.
And so does it get overwhelming to think about the fact that now you have to start growing that channel?
And that takes the fun out of it too. You know, it's like, now this is a full-blown business, which is great in some ways, but in other ways, just more responsibility and more things we have to think about, you know, content creation, planning out funding and things. And now podcasts, you know, studio space, editing, stuff like that. We just
you have the
time or
space.
skills.
You're locked in with the studio space, right?
So that sort of stuff, it's like, you know, you've got to find the money for it, and you got to find the funding. And, you know, people see our podcast and they see how great it looks, and we're proud of that. But it's like, we don't have Spotify backing us or something like that.
Rogan
like,
over here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no like huge like check coming in from somebody to get this whole thing off the ground. So
If you're interested.
but email us.
Have you guys talked to any talent agents yet?
No, not well. We have like a brand manager who gets us some partnership deals, but no, not really.
So they bring to you, hey, Rich Drew, we have we have
Yes.
Surfside.
Yeah, right.
Sweet treat. They'll bring that to you.
It's good. It's slow for the same reasons we were kind of sharing before. You know, who we are as a brand is not appealing to a lot of the bigger brands at the moment. So
we've been talking to a few of them.
Yeah.
And one of the things that seems to be bubbling out of those conversations is that YouTube is seen as the easiest way for a creator to integrate an ad that the brand is pleased with. In other words, it's harder to do a natural integration into short form, or at least this seems to be the feedback I'm getting. Short form, you're maybe doing a dedicated video, and then at that point it's an ad, and you would naturally expect much worse engagement.
For sure.
Whereas with a YouTube video or longer form video, you can do a normal piece of content that your audience loves and engage with, and kind of just slip that ad natively in there. You know, maybe it's only 30 seconds. It's harder. You know, sometimes it's not worth pulling the phone in your pocket to try to skip it.
For sure.
Or you throw it in right at the beginning so that, you know, to get to the rest of the content.
Advertorial or something like that.
Just to round that out, right? The impression I'm getting from talent agents that specialize in brand deals is the key to getting more of them is long form.
Yeah. And that, again, is part of why we started getting into the podcast thing.
You've heard the same feedback?
We have, yeah. And people are saying long form, YouTube, things like that are where the money is. And so, you know, podcasting is something we've always kind of thought about. But for a long time, we were like, is this just a bandwagon thing? Everybody's a podcast now. We've heard some flight attendant podcasts out there that were like, I don't think I should do this. And so finally, like years later, we were like, all right, there's now possibly business positives to it.
Yeah.
It could be a fun way to show our personalities off a little more, get our faces out there. And it turns out we really love it. Like it's fun to have a platform that you get to share your views and have conversations. Like
and your audience is going to reward you for doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Because now it's something tangible that they can take with them. It's not just a meme.
Yeah.
It's, I got the guys in my pocket and
Exactly.
I can listen to them wherever.
And now people feel like they know us personally, which is kind of nice, honestly, because it just brings that, you know, what we've been trying to do since the beginning with that authenticity and sharing who we are as people and what our job is and things like that. Like, this is just further solidifying that and that building that community.
Because at some point I can imagine like you want to go all in, right? Like this is your retirement right here. Hopefully, you know what I mean? Like
honestly, even if it's just more travel, I'm good with that.
yeah.
You still like to travel even though you do it for a living?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I don't like being a passenger, but I still like to travel.
So that's an interesting.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
We joke about this a lot because anytime we're going somewhere for fun, you know, the process of like boarding and getting on a plane, and we're like, okay, now I have to remember to be nicer to passengers. the next time I'm at work because this sucks.
It is
And I
nuts.
get why people are miserable. I get why people get on a plane and they're mad. You've had
worst of the human
TSA
experience.
piss you off. You've had a gate agent bark at you over something. You have a flight attendant who's ignored you or hit you with a beverage cart. Like, I get why people are annoyed. And so, honestly, traveling for fun makes us, I think, better flight attendants. Right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could we do a little bit of a rapid fire round around some of the tactical questions people have?
Okay.
All right. And so, Andrew, don't be shy to jump in too.
That's great.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a talker.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, short-ish answers only, please. All right. Common myth that other creators have about growing followers. Anything that you think is just bullshit and really hasn't proven to be helpful?
Bots. Don't use bots.
Funny, you already ruined one of my next questions.
Oh, that's funny.
Andrew, no more from you.
I'm sorry. Anytime we've
why we don't let him talk.
anytime we've tried to use bots, they have like negatively impacted our growth or success. And
Interesting.
I talked about it earlier. Sorry to ruin your rapid fire already, but
I'm just kidding.
Rich has done a really good job of like naturally growing our following. It's been a painstaking process, but those 177,000 followers came naturally. There were no bots. He did it all on his own. It was just genuine
You've
engagement.
experimented.
Yeah.
You've dabbled in bots, though. Is that what I heard?
I mean, we use DM automation. Like there's things that we do, yes, but
DM automation is different. DM automation is helpful.
yeah. But
What's
like
DM
actual
automation?
bots, we've turned it on for like a week and it was terrible. It was awful.
And that was like early on. And
Very early on.
we tried this one that had like comments. We're really failing with the short answer thing.
You're right.
And it was like you could put in certain comments and it would respond to certain comments that way. This is before we got into the DM automation thing, but it was kind of like that. And it just started going rogue. And like I couldn't figure out how to turn it off. And it was just like people, like I'd post something about, say, some awful thing that happened. And people would be like, that's so sad. And the comment back would be like, great job. And I was like, oh, it's over. And look, I mean, we only had like 3,000 followers when we were like tampering with this. And I was like, this is not the way to go. Yeah. It's like all us or all nothing because this is not going to get us.
Back in the day, I mean, we started this a long time ago. The bots were to like get you following or get you followers. So it would like go like a whole bunch of people. So they would inevitably like you in return.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was supposed to work in the background in the middle of the night. And the next thing you know, you'd wake up and your Instagram was frozen because the bots were like crazy. And Instagram's like, we can tell you're using bots.
Right.
He did it for like 2 weeks once and he was like, never again. I'm not
I
doing it.
dabbled with bots years ago for an account, creative hustler account.
Yeah, just dabbled to 1 million followers. No big deal.
Dabbled, and and then I.
But in the beginning, you're kind of desperate. You're like, I'll try anything that will grow. And now I feel like-
Perception is everything, right?
Yes.
Now I think it's harder than ever to grow. So anyone starting out now, I'm like, oof,
What's your biggest tip then if someone's starting out now, net new?
be authentic. Just I mean,
Engage with
truly,
yourself,
people.
right?
Engage
Like-
with people.
truly be yourself. I think that it's
scared
oversaturated.
of
Social
that.
media is so oversaturated with people just being the same, doing the same trends. Like trends would be my answer to your question. Trends are not everything. People leaning into all the trendy stuff. That's not everything. Be real. I mean, how many times do you have like a random reel or TikTok pop up in your feed? It's unlike anything you've seen before. This person just has a hot take on something. And you're like, damn, that's funny. That's clever. I never thought about that. And it just feels original. And it's like, be original, be authentic, be you. It's so cliche, but it works. Like people want to see real people. People don't want to see the fake.
And there is that idea of 1,000 true fans. If you're familiar with that term, everyone has their 1,000 true fans out there. And you get that by being real original. You just have to have 138,000, 185,000 right now. But like that is absolutely, I think.
Yeah.
And I brag on Rich about this all the time. As much as trends are important, it's tailoring your content to that trend. And that's, I think, what he's trying to say. But he's really good at tailoring our content to the trend so you don't get something that's like, what are they doing?
Give us an example.
How did you get here? We used to only do memes, and then Reels and TikTok became important. So how do you translate your meme, which is just a standalone slide, to what that looks like on a video? Because videos are like a 4-second video. How do you translate that still frame to a video? Because those are now really popular. So he figured out how to do that. Like it's voiceovers or whatever.
Green screen maybe
Yeah,
or something like that.
We don't use the green screen as much, but yes, that's important. Or adding a voiceover to your meme so that you can like make it a video. What's popular now? Oh,
Remixes.
like real, not carousel posts are really important. So you can't just post one meme. You take the same image and you post like 6 jokes so that they have something to slide through.
And then you have a chance for engagement with comments because it's like, well, which one of these is funniest? Comment below and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think you were right. It's really about tailoring the content to your audience. Like, because some of these trends, people will just recreate the same thing over and over, and you'll keep seeing the same video with just someone's different face. And it's like, okay, this, but make it flight attendant. You know, make it our audience specifically. So maybe it's not quite the same as the trend that's out there, but we've twisted it a little bit to make it make sense for our industry and for our audience. And
Regarding using these memes, are you using like a chat GPT or any AI tools to
we use ChatGPT a little bit for podcast outlines, like brainstorming. You know, we want to talk about this on today's episode. What are some other things that relate to this that we could add in? But in terms of social media stuff, we don't use AI at all.
Doing that right now.
Yeah. How to wrap up a podcast episode with
ChatGPT.
with 2 guys who don't know what rapid fire means.
To be fun.
Crack producer Jim up with that one?
All right. So, and the tactical stuff, like people want to know it, but they usually want quicker answers. So next one.
Yeah.
Nudge, nudge.
I don't know what you mean. You know?
Do you worry about day timing, day partying, posting at specific times of days, or do you ignore that altogether?
Day partying?
Day party.
Marketing speak.
We don't. We have a
party.
worldwide audience, so someone's going to see it. So we don't worry about that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And when you say worldwide audience, looking at your analytics, you
We
have
have
a nice range.
Yeah, it's about 48% US.
Wow.
And 52% all over the world.
And all over the world, where's a heavier concentration? Europe, South America?
Probably a quarter is Europe, and then
as
a
a whole.
quarter is kind of split between
everywhere else.
Africa, Australia,
Wow.
South America.
Well, I mean, you think where the major airlines are, right? Like the Middle East, Doha, Qatar.
a lot of
they have a
Middle
big,
East.
they have a big following there. Europe, America. Like, yes, there are concentrations, but we're everywhere.
Next one. Good, much better, guys. Good job.
Really keeping it down to a science.
Do you worry much about brand aesthetic, look, or more just messaging?
Yes,
All of it.
Absolutely, all of it. I think all of it is important.
Anything
Well,
else?
that's I think interesting because you're doing carousels and you're doing those carousels in a brand like with your colors or like are you using Canva or using a
We
program?
definitely use Canva. There's certain things that I definitely lean into the brand colors and fonts and things, and other things that are just memes. But I try to stick to the same fonts as much as I can.
What is that font? Let me take.
Yeah,
a guess.
I'm looking at your page,
Is it new? Yeah.
and all your memes use the same font. You have that kind of that bluish hue over what's like
That
that
is all
TV show.
intentional. Yes.
Ozarks.
Ozark.
The bluish.
The
Watermarks
been the
have
same.
changed over the years, but it's all similar. Yes.
Well, we stopped using watermarks. Originally, we were using watermarks because people steal your content all the time. And then we've had this one account that I chased off Instagram, and I'm really proud of it.
Chased off.
Yeah, they're gone now.
Chased them off.
They would literally just go in and cover over our watermark and then repost. And I DM them and be like, can you at least tag us in this or whatever? They're like, no, we're not doing that.
Really?
Okay, cool. And that I reported them so many times and got our followers to report them so many times that they're
What was
no
their
longer-
account? 2 assholes on a train.
I like that.
That was good.
That's our spin-off account.
I like the spin-offs.
Yeah.
I'm dying to know, just personally, is this a reference at all to Two Girls, One Cup?
No,
I
I hate that question. People,
You get it a lot though.
yeah, from usually cis white, hetero.
older males remember the video.
No wonder I'm not invited
Yeah.
to the excursion.
Yeah, actually, bookings for our trips are now closed.
Right.
No. We do get that reference a lot though, and it was not something that even crossed our mind when it came out.
Yeah,
but every now and then you get somebody who doesn't like us, who will make that joke and be like, "What are these like 2 guys, 1 cup?" And I'm just like, "Oh, troll."
Right.
Bye.
Right.
Well, accidentally, it seems to play off of it. And frankly, I think it makes it even funnier.
I think it's provocative.
It's provocative. Yeah, that's better than funnier. It's provocative.
Yeah.
Makes
All right.
And I like provocative.
I like it.
So I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look forward.
I think
to
it
the
was
two
like
guys,
what,
one
it's two
plane.
guys on a plane. There was two guys, one plane. Then it would be like a direct.
Yeah.
You know, it would be more direct.
I do sometimes wonder, looking back, I'm like, if we could rebrand and rename them, like, what would we?
Oh, what would it be?
Well, I don't have an answer, but I just, because we get so many jokes about that, and it's maybe not the catchiest name all the time, but like a lot of times we'll meet people and they'll be like, oh, you're that like two guys at an airport or something, and I'm like, what? Like, maybe we're not nailing the branding thing.
Right.
Two dudes and yeah,
two dudes, one
a
suitcase.
cockpit? Yeah, like, yeah, right. So some days we wonder if there was a better name, but we're already pretty far into this.
No, I actually think the name
dudes, one
works.
suitcase
Yeah.
coming.
Two guys, one suitcase.
Yeah, I think the name is great. I think it's a brilliant name.
It's good. What's the biggest downside to being maybe not a full-time creator, but an avid regular creator?
Great question.
I feel like never being able to really turn it off. Like you're always kind of working in some way.
How does that affect the mental health?
Well, this is why at least for me, like I became a flight attendant because I was in nonprofit management before. And it's like you work a 9 to 5, but you're in the office 7 to 7 and you're
Sure.
answering emails on weekends. And it's like
Everyone always
that
needs
ability
something.
to not escape work, I really hated. And then I became a flight attendant and realized when you're done with the trip, you're done with your job. You can take 3 or 4 days off. You can call out sick for a week and you don't have to think about that place until you go back. And I love that. That's what keeps me coming back. And now I've reintroduced this to my life where I'm kind of always, I can't turn my brain off.
Right.
Even if I schedule content for a week and say you're not going to worry about socials for a minute, take a break, it's still in my brain.
Right.
What's next? What do we do next? How do we keep growing? How do we keep, creating new ventures? How do we keep expanding? How do we keep building the community? So you can't turn that part of
So
your
how
brain
do
off.
you keep your mental health then in check?
The memes. That's what we use.
That's the outlet.
Oh, the irony. So the outlet.
The
is also
irony.
Yeah. It is the memes that are the outlet because you go have a really challenging trip or a really challenging day and you come home and you put it all out and then you see people reacting to it and you're like, wait, I'm not crazy. This is a legitimate thing that people have a problem
What a
with.
catch-22.
I know.
Well, see, I see it differently
ironic.
because 2 guys in a plane is my outlet for flying. It keeps me sane flying because I think I can make a joke out of this. This helps the business. This helps the brand. But then the thing that keeps me mentally okay with the brand is friends, really. It's just the real people in our lives
Community.
who make fun of this in like a healthy way. It's like,
oh no, not our community. Like actual friends.
our actual,
your actual friends.
like time with friends to like not think about content.
I'm going to tell you, we were out having drinks last night with friends and someone approached us at the bar and was like 2 guys on a plane, Rich, Drew. They were correct, but our friends have been ribbing us ever since because they're like, of course it's 2 guys on a plane. Like that's what he's saying. Like
And this doesn't happen as often as we make it sound, but these 2 friends in particular, every time we're out, it has happened. And we've been to multiple bars in Philly, and every bar this has happened with these 2 friends, no one else. And they're like, oh, does this keep happening to you? And then like they went into the UPS store one time, and we have a mailbox at a UPS store, and we went in behind them once, and the front desk was like, 2 guys in a plane. And our friend Caleb was like, does this just happen to you everywhere? I can't even pick up my mail without your fans showing up.
Doesn't help you wear the hat everywhere.
Yeah, right.
At least they didn't say 2 guys, 1 plane.
Yeah.
right.
But it was just funny. But they, that sort of stuff keeps you grounded, keeps you realizing like it's not that serious at the end of the day. It's, just a fun thing we're doing, and we're real people with real lives and have people that can kind of just keep life fun.
What advice would you give to other creator couples?
Oof.
Crickets.
Go for it.
Oof.
Well, I'm going to tell a funny story because our friend Christine, we were having drinks. Actually, after the last time we recorded an episode here, I met up with my friend Christine, and she and I were having drinks, and she was like, crazy that you started a business with your husband. Like,
Yeah.
that's stupid. And I was just like, it was this moment of like clarity where I was like, it never even occurred to me.
That's the wild part to me, is that it never occurred to you.
I'm not the brightest bulb.
Go on, keep going.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
I mean, but it's
We're
just
sitting at dinner a week later and he's telling me this story and I was like, yes, boss, I know we started a business together. He was like, it didn't dawn on me. And I was like, how? You own this company. Like 51% is yours. Like you made yourself the boss. And then they're like, I had no idea. I was running a
not you
company.
bringing up the contract.
Right. I mean, 51%.
Yeah. So yeah, but it was just funny because we've never seen it that way. Our lives together has always kind of been like in departments, so to speak. And I know that sounds like so not romantic, but just with our schedules and crazy lives, it always just made more sense to make sure things kept running in our lives, that one of us did one thing and one of us did the other, so that we didn't have to worry about things getting done. You know, like grocery shopping and stuff. Like Andrew does that, and I would do like a lot of the paying bills and taxes and things.
My house works the same.
Yeah, it works really well in a relationship when it's like, okay, you have your stuff that you need to do. I have my stuff I need to do. Everyone does their job and we're good. And like, so when we transitioned into kind of running a business together, it worked out the same way. And when we did that, it didn't really dawn on me like, oh, you're starting a business with your husband. That could be like, you know, destined for failure. It just never
Could also be destined for greatness.
Yeah. Well, and so far so good.
Yeah. And you guys are a legit like LLC business, right? Like,
Yep.
that's great.
Did all that during COVID when I had extra time on my hands. Was like,
So you were kind of foreshadowing what's happening here.
we trademarked, copyright, all that stuff taken care of. Like
Rich doesn't do anything small. He's doing the whole thing, or he's doing
Go big or go home, right?
Correct.
Like,
yeah. We started a brand.
expect Rich to do anything small.
Correct. He checked all of the social channels. He secured our name on all of the social
smart.
channels
Monopoly.
before we even started anything. He
Well,
was
you're
like,
real
we
estate.
can't.
yeah, when we were talking about coming up with a name, I remember looking. I was like, is it on YouTube? Is it on TikTok? Is it on Twitter? Is it on whatever? Like, it needs to be the same name, of
course.
for every platform.
And you need to own it, right? You need to get it for someone else. My son was born. First thing I did, called my mother and registered an email account and bought a URL. Because like
Marketing brain right there.
Because I don't want anyone else grabbing his shit. You know?
Well, no, we did this though, because when we started the podcast, it's Two Guys on a Plane, and that was our name for the podcast. So we go to search, and that name has been used before. And then we were talking to our producer about it, and he was like, but you have the LLC, so theirs has to come down. And we were like, oh, wait, yeah.
They had like 3 episodes though.
It wasn't big.
But
Like,
you guys are.
yeah.
So I don't think we have a lot of competition there.
We don't,
yeah.
but if it does become a problem, like we legally own the name. They're the ones that don't. So like they've got to come
Smart.
down,
I mean,
right?
It's a business. That's the
Didn't
point.
allow me panic attack. I was like, we can't be 2 guys in a plane 2. This is too far.
Too many cups, too many
Too little time.
Too big cup, too little time.
too little time.
Never gonna let that
I think
go.
we're kind of coming down the final stretch here. Whoop, as my phone rings. Amateur hour.
wow.
You guys want to meet my wife? Oh my God.
Rapid fire.
Just when I turn that off.
Rapid fire. Christina, so.
Yeah. So final thoughts, guys, on, other aspiring creators that want to venture, take the path you've taken. What would be your, kind of short words of wisdom to help them get to where you've gotten?
Do it. If you're interested in do it. There are probably podcasts or Instagram accounts that'll help you figure it out these days. There weren't back in the day, but do it. I mean, that's my short answer.
Yeah, I would say do it because you enjoy the creation part of it. You have an idea, you have a vision for something that you think the internet is missing, or whatever the case may be. Fill a void out there. Like there are some flight attendant meme pages and things like that, but I feel like this sort of combination of humor and heart and everything that we built to form this community was lacking, and I feel like we enjoy building that, and that's what keeps us doing it. People nowadays see content creation as like this means to an end of like, you don't have to work a normal job anymore. You can be a content creator. You're going to make a ton of money. Nope. And you find those people just treading water. They're out there chasing brand deals. They're trying to figure out how to get rich. And it's like, you've got to be you first before people want to invest in that. Like, you've got to build that part of it. You've got to build your identity, build your brand, find out what you're passionate about and make that. And then the rest will come if you want it to, you know?
It sounds super cliche, but you as the individual are the secret sauce.
That's exactly right.
You are.
You two is
Right.
And people listening are like, yeah, whatever. That's a great one-liner, but
That's bullshit.
and then the other side of it, other than being your most authentic self, is to some extent you were just saying you have to put in the work because it is a job.
Absolutely.
So be prepared to work hard while somehow also being your most authentic self along the way.
Also, remember, we don't know your story. It's okay to start 5 years ago. You can take old pictures, you can voice over. Like, we don't know your story. Start from the beginning. Tell us your story. We were literally just having a conversation about this with a friend because she's on a fitness journey, and she was like, "But I'm in the middle of the fitness stuff," and I was like, "We don't know that."
Yeah, she's
Go
like,
back.
I already lost the weight. And we're like, but you have pictures, you have stories, you have so much knowledge to tell from then and where you are now. Like, lean into that.
That was one of the most insightful things I think we've heard on this podcast.
It comes back to something that John and I were talking about at 9 a.m. this morning at our meeting.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Close the loop on the day.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Mic drop.
Well, guys, awesome having you here. You've been terrific. Steven, something else?
Yeah, I was going to say, where do they live online? I think they should tell everyone they're home.
Yes. How can people find you?
We are everywhere. At Two Guys in a Plane on every platform you can think of. We're probably on it. Or twoguysinaplane.com. Or you can check out our podcast everywhere you get your podcasts. Also called Two Guys in a Plane. And yeah, come hear about flight attendant life and what stories, crazy stories we have.
Yeah, Rich has done great with the SEO. A quick Google search and you'll find all their stuff.
Yes.
Next excursion you
Very
said was
Googleable.
Croatia?
Yep, Croatia.
What's the date?
July 20,
That one's closed for booking. The next available one is
Egypt in September.
Egypt, the last week of September.
Wow. I want to go.
Yeah, come travel with
when
us.
this is airing,
We're a
but-
good time. Yeah.
Amazing.
E-
Well, thanks
Egypt
so
and
much,
Thailand.
guys.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you.
having you here and see you on the next episode.
Yeah.
Check us out at njcontentstudio.com. And this has been the NJCS Creator Show. Thanks, guys.
Bitch.